Dear friends and family, we are gathered here today to witness and celebrate the union of Erica and Charlie in marriage. In the time they have been together, their love and understanding of each other has grown and matured, and now they have decided to live their lives together as husband and wife.
Erica, I love you more than words can express. As I write this letter to you today, I sit in awe and disbelief that I could be so lucky to marry a woman so beautiful, smart, caring, and kind as you. I imagine our lives together, and I'm struck by feelings of joy and hope for our future that I know we will fill with many happy memories. You always make me feel like I matter. Likewise, you are the center of my universe, and I hope I can show you that today and every day for the rest of our lives. I love you so much. Charlie. Okay, what I'm looking forward to the most about being married, specifically to Charlie, is that we're going to spend every day together, and we're going to do the most mundane things, but it's going to be the best because it's with your best friend, and you're going to be with them forever now. So he's stuck with me, and if he wants to get out of it, it's going to be a lot harder than it would be before.
Erica, you met Charlie that night, acting confident as he introduced himself to you. You went on your first date and many after, where he was likely trying to hide his nervousness and impress you. But for the rest of us, those who saw Charlie when you weren't with him, we experienced a Charlie that was nervous, someone who was anxious before each date, someone who, frankly, wouldn't stop talking about you, and who had already let his guard down and didn't even know it yet.
Happy wedding day. Yes, I had to get you socks since you saw Gigi give them to Damon on Love is Blind and thought it was so cute.
It's socks in case I get cold feet.
I love how smart you are and the way you talk. I love your little songs you sing with the dogs' names. I love how you always listen to me when I get upset and need to rant. Thank you for having this wedding, and thank you for loving me. I know I'm not perfect, but I promise to try to be a better person and a good wife. So excited to marry you. Love, Erica. I just can't say it enough. I love you. That's great. So we first met at a Spasmatics concert. So Spasmatics is this crazy 80s cover band. They all dress like nerds and they do 80s cover music. And I was there with some coworkers. I was there with TJ, who was our officiant, and a couple friends from work.
He was there with his coworker friends, and I was there with my mom.
We saw Erica. He was like, hey, you should go talk to her. I was like, yeah, I don't know. And finally we ended up talking to her, ended up kind of standing behind her, talking real loud, and TJ kind of bumped me into her.
I was just standing there, and Charlie said that I heard somebody behind me say, stop getting so close to me, everyone's so crowded in here. And so he said it really loud, so I turned around and he looked at me and then he started talking to me. And apparently that was his plan all along, was just to talk really loud so that I would turn around and look at him.
All my friends were there and they were kind of like, you need to do this. And so I'm glad I did. And we ended up talking all night, having a great time, dancing, singing along to 80s songs, and it was a blast.
So what I'm looking forward to the most about getting married is spending the rest of my life with my best friend. I know that I have a partner in Erica. I know that she's always going to take care of me. And, you know, in a world that can be cruel sometimes, I know that she's my safe place to come home to. You made me cry. Again.
Our first date was interesting. So Erica says our first date was when we actually went together to Baybrook Mall and kind of bounced around to a few different places. I say our first date was when we met at Spasmatics because we spent the whole night together pretty much. But our first date was great. She grilled me. She asked me a ton of questions. I found out she'd been Facebook stalking me. She knew all about me. She knew my whole life. And I was just incredibly attracted to her.
Okay, so our first date, we went to Baybrook Town Center, and first we started at Yard House. We started at Yard House and we got a drink, and then we went to Maggiano's and we had dinner, and then we went to Bar Louie and we had dessert. So it was like a 3-piece date, and it really well. I remember he tried to hold my hand when we were walking, and I was like, no, I don't know you like that. Don't hold my hand. But we did kiss at the end of the night, so it was a good date.
I got a lot of lessons left to learn.
I hear you walking. Oh my God. I love you so much.
I love you too, babe.
You look so good.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Are you fake crying?
I don't know how to do that.
To make me
so
feel good?
You look so
You
good.
look good too, babe. I like your outfit. I love your face.
Cause if I leave everything on the table, then you might break.
You'll remember it.
Take your sunglasses
I bought it
off.
3
Why are you
times.
wearing your sunglasses?
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Charlie, you may kiss your bride.
How much do I love you? Me and Erica used to play this game when she was little, and I'd ask her, how much do I love you? And she'd open her arms further and further and further apart. And she could never open them wide enough. And I remember thinking, one day, this precious little girl of mine is gonna grow up, fall in love with this mean man, and he's gonna take her away from me. You even picked a good man. Because Charlie, today's a happy day for me. Because Charlie, you're not a mean man. You're a good and caring man, and I see how much you love my daughter. Ski and Judy, of Charlie's parents, I want to thank you for raising an excellent young man for my daughter to meet and marry.
I'm going to echo a lot of what Rick said because it's true. Erica is hardworking, brave, funny, caring person who will put everyone in front of her. She has such a good heart. And Rick, I hope you realize you're not losing a daughter, you're gaining a son.
So I knew Erica was the one when, I mean, it was kind of a feeling that it's really hard to pinpoint to one exact moment, but it's kind of a feeling that grew. But when I can say for sure that I nailed it down and I knew, we'd had a movie date at my house, and I don't know if I cooked for her, if we got some fast food brought over or whatever, but we watched a movie together. We spent some time at my apartment, and she left, and she texted me that night, and she texted me a song, You Are the Only Exception by Paramore, which we're gonna be hearing when we see the fireworks tonight. And she texted me that song, and I listened to the lyrics, and I started crying. And that's what I knew, for sure.
So when did I know when he was the one? I don't really feel like I have a moment where I feel like I knew he was the one. I'm being completely honest. I know that I felt that I loved him, and I remember the day that we said I love you to each other, and that was about 6 months into dating. And I think that at that moment I was like, okay, I think this is gonna kind of go the distance, you know.
Charlie is the kind of person who, when he's passionate about something, he doesn't go in halfway, ever. He'll dive into something. He'll read every bit of writing on a topic. He'll, dive into the internet comment thread so deep that you can never get him out again. And he'll master something before he ever gives up. He just doesn't quit. He is unwavering in his commitment, his dedication, his pursuit, and his service to whatever it is. And I can tell you, each one of us here would die for Charlie. And when he says it back, maybe he's the only person in the world that I know that would actually do it without thinking about it. So, Erica, that's who you married.
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't already know me, I'm Erica's little sister and maid of honor, Alyssa. Once she moved out, she stayed close and always managed to make time for me and continued doing fun things with me. And now that she's with Charlie, he even joins in sometimes. And when I first met him, he didn't like teenagers. I wasn't sure how that was gonna work. But once we started playing board games and learning we actually liked some of the same stuff, he learned I wasn't like other teenagers he had met, and we got along really well. He treats my sister so good, and I think they are so perfect for each other, and I'm glad they found each other.
I also want to thank my parents. I want to thank them for everything. I want to thank them for my intelligence, my good looks, and my humility. And I want to thank them for their example. They've been married for 35 years. And what they showed me is that marriage is hard work, but that staying together means never giving up.